In the heart of the lush African village of Zamunda, there lived a young man named Enzi. Enzi was known for his kindness, his strong work ethic, and his deep love for his family. Every day, he would help his parents in the fields, tending to the crops and taking care of the animals. The village respected and admired him for his gentle nature and willingness to help anyone in need. Zamunda was a vibrant village, filled with the sounds of children playing, elders sharing stories under the baobab tree, and the rhythm of drums echoing through the air during celebrations. Life in Zamunda was a blend of hard work and communal joy, with everyone contributing to the well-being of the village. However, amidst this lively community, there was an undercurrent of tension and unease. Chief Dumisani, the wealthiest man in Zamunda, cast a long shadow over the village. Though not the official village chief, his immense wealth and stern demeanor gave him considerable influence. Chief Dumisani was known for his strictness and high expectations, traits that were mirrored by his only daughter, Nia. Nia was often the subject of gossip and slander among the villagers. Chief Dumisani's imposing presence was felt in every corner of Zamunda. He lived in the largest house, surrounded by high walls that separated him and his daughter from the rest of the village. The villagers would often see him walking through the village, his face set in a stern expression, rarely acknowledging anyone with more than a nod. "Good morning, Chief Dumisani," the villagers would greet him respectfully, only to receive a curt nod in response. Nia, too, was seen as unapproachable and aloof. Her striking beauty and regal presence were overshadowed by her cold demeanor. She rarely mingled with the other villagers, and when she did, her interactions were brief and formal. This made her the target of much gossip and speculation. "Did you see Nia today?" one woman would whisper to another. "She walked right past me without even a smile." "She's just like her father," the other one would reply. "Cold and heartless. I wonder if she even knows how to smile." The villagers' perception of Nia was further colored by her father's strict rules. Nia was not allowed to join in the village festivities or play with the other children when she was younger. This isolation bred resentment and misunderstanding. The villagers saw her as distant and arrogant, and she saw them as judgmental and unkind. Men who were interested in Nia found themselves quickly rebuffed. She would barely acknowledge their presence, let alone entertain their advances. One such suitor, a young man named Bakari, had approached her with a bouquet of flowers, hoping to win her favor. "Good morning, Nia," Bakari said, offering her the flowers. "I brought these for you." Nia barely glanced at the flowers before turning away. "I don't need flowers," she said coldly. "If that's all you have to offer, you may leave." Bakari's face fell and he walked away, the other villagers laughing at his rejection. "Did you really think you had a chance with her?" they mocked. "She's as cold as ice." Another suitor, Nuru, tried to impress Nia with his skills in music. He played his djembe drum outside her house, hoping the rhythmic beats would catch her attention. But Nia closed her window, shutting out the sound and any chance of connection. "She's not worth the effort," Nuru grumbled to his friends. "Let her stay alone in her big house. No one needs a wife like that." The villagers' gossip and the suitors' mockery only reinforced Nia's belief that she was better off alone. She withdrew even further, burying herself in books and avoiding social gatherings. Her interactions with others were limited to curt nods and brief impersonal conversations. When she walked through the village, she kept her head high and her expression stern, a mask to hide her true feelings. "She's just like her father," the villagers would say, "cold and unfeeling." Nia's only solace was her time by the river, where she could be alone with her thoughts. It was here that Ensi found her one evening, sitting quietly and staring into the water. Despite knowing her reputation, he felt compelled to approach her. "Hello, Nia," Ensi greeted her gently. "Is everything all right?" Nia looked up, surprised to see someone talking to her. She hesitated, then replied softly, "I'm just thinking about my life. No one understands me. They all think I'm cold and unfriendly." Ensi sat down beside her. "Maybe they just don't know you. Why don't you give them a chance to see the real Nia?" Nia sighed deeply. "It's not that simple, Ensi. People judge me because of my father's wealth. They think I'm spoiled and arrogant, but they don't know what it's like to live in my world." "Tell me," Ensi said, his voice full of genuine curiosity. "What is it like?" Nia looked at him, searching his eyes for any sign of mockery. When she found none, she began to speak. "My father is a powerful man. He expects nothing less than perfection from me. Growing up, I had everything I could ever want except freedom. I was always under scrutiny, always expected to behave a certain way, to maintain a certain image. It was lonely. I never knew if people liked me for who I was or because of my father's wealth." She paused, taking a deep breath for continuing. "When my mother died, things got even worse. My father became even more controlling, more demanding. He never showed me any affection, only expectations. I built walls around myself to keep from getting hurt, but those walls also kept everyone out." Ensi listened intently, his heart aching for the young woman beside him. "That sounds really hard, Nia. But you don't have to live like that forever. You can change things if you want to." Nia shook her head. "I don't know how, Ensi. I'm not sure where to start." "Maybe," Ensi said thoughtfully, "you could start by letting people in, one step at a time. You don't have to open up to everyone all at once. Just find someone you trust and let them see the real you." Nia looked at him with a mixture of hope and uncertainty. "And what if they don't like what they see?" "Then they are not worth your time," Ensi replied with a gentle smile. "But I think you'll find that most people will be glad to know the real Nia." Over the next few days, Ensi and Nia began to talk more. Ansi discovered that Nia was not unfriendly, but rather shy and unsure of how to connect with others. She shared stories of her childhood, her dreams and her fears. Ansi listened with patience and kindness, slowly breaking down the walls around her heart. One day, as they sat by the river, Nia opened up about her greatest fear. "I'm afraid of being alone," she confessed. "My father's health is failing, and I don't know what I'll do when he's gone. I'll have all this wealth, but no one to share it with." Ansi took her hand in his. "You're not alone, Nia. You have me, and you have this village. We may not be rich, but we have something more valuable: each other. If you let us in, you'll never be alone again." Nia's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you, Ansi. You've shown me more kindness than anyone else ever has. I don't know what I did to deserve it, but I'm grateful." Chief Dumisani soon noticed the change in his daughter. She was smiling more, even laughing. When he learned that it was Ansi who had brought this change, he invited Ansi to his home. "Ansi," the chief began, "you have done what no one else could. You have brought happiness to my daughter's life. I would be honored if you would marry her." Ansi was taken aback. He hadn't expected this, but he had grown fond of Nia and wanted to see her happy. After much thought, he agreed to the marriage. The village was buzzing with excitement on the day of the wedding. Everyone wanted to see if Ansi could truly bring joy to the rich man's unfriendly daughter. The ceremony was grand, with colorful decorations, traditional music, and a feast that lasted 4 days. After the wedding, Ansi and Nia moved into a small house provided by Chief Dumisani. Ansi continued to work in the fields, while Nia began to take an interest in the village's activities. She started helping at the market, organizing community events, and even teaching children to read and write. Slowly but surely, Nia's cold demeanor melted away. She became known for her kindness and generosity, and the villagers grew to love her. Ansi's gentle nature and patience had transformed her into a beloved member of the community. But as the days passed, a shadow loomed over their happiness. Chief Dumisani, despite his wealth, was growing increasingly ill. He had no other family, and his vast fortune was a subject of much speculation. People wondered what would happen to his riches once he was gone. One day, as Ansi and Nia were walking through the village, they overheard whispers. "I bet Ansi married her just for the money," someone said. "He'll be the richest man in the village when the chief dies." Nia's face fell and tears welled up in her eyes. She had always feared that people would never truly accept her, and now it seemed her worst fears were coming true. Ansi took her hand and led her away from the gossiping crowd. "Nia, don't listen to them," Ansi said firmly. "I married you because I love you, not for your father's money. We'll prove them wrong together." Nia nodded, but the doubt lingered in her heart. As Chief Dumisani's health worsened, the tension in the village grew. Everyone was waiting to see what would happen next. One evening, Chief Dumisani called Ensi and Nia to his bedside. "My children," he said weakly, "I don't have much time left. But I want you to know that my wealth means nothing compared to the happiness I have seen in my daughter since she met you, Ensi. Promise me that you will take care of each other no matter what happens." Ensi and Nia promised, their eyes filled with tears. The chief smiled faintly, then closed his eyes and drifted off to sleep. The next morning he was gone. The village was filled with mourning, but also with curiosity. What would happen to Chief Dumisani's fortune? The elders gathered to read the chief's will, and the entire village held its breath. Kato, the eldest elder, stepped forward, holding a scroll tied with a red ribbon. He cleared his throat, and the murmurs of the crowd ceased instantly. "People of Zamunda," Kato began, his voice steady and authoritative. "I have before me the last will and testament of Chief Dumisani. I will read it to you now." The villagers leaned in, their eyes fixed on the elder. "I, Chief Dumisani, being of sound mind and body, do hereby declare this to be my last will and testament." Kato read aloud. "To my beloved daughter Nia, I leave the entire of my fortune and properties with the following stipulation." A murmur ran through the crowd. Everyone had expected Nia to inherit her father's wealth, but the mention of a stipulation piqued their interest. "In order for Nia to claim her inheritance," Kato continued, "she must fulfill 3 tasks within 1 year. These tasks are designed to test her character, her compassion, and her leadership. Only upon successful completion of these tasks she will be granted full control of her inheritance." Nia's eyes widened in shock. She had not anticipated such a twist. Ensi looked at her with concern, but also with determination. He knew that together they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. The crowd buzzed with excitement and curiosity. What could these tasks be? Why had Chief Dumisani set such conditions? Kato raised his hand for silence. "The first task," he read, "is for Nia to build a school for the children of Zamunda, ensuring that every child has the opportunity to learn and grow. The second task is to create a community fund to support the well-being and development of the village. The third task is to organize a grand festival that celebrated the village's culture, heritage, and unity." Nia's heart skipped a beat. She had always dreamed of making a difference in the village, but these tasks would require significant effort and resources. She glanced at Ensi, who nodded encouragingly. Nia took a deep breath and faced the crowd. "I accept these tasks," she declared. "I will do my best to fulfill my father's wishes and prove myself worthy of his legacy." Ensi put his arm around her shoulders. "We'll do this together, Nia. You don't have to face it alone." The villagers began to disperse, talking excitedly about the future. Nia and Ensi stood together, feeling a mix of emotions: grief for Chief Dumisani, determination to fulfill his wishes, and hope for the future. As they walked back to their home, Ansi turned to Nia. "We should start planning right away. The school, the fund, it'll take time and effort, but I know we can do it." Nia nodded, a newfound strength rising within her. "You're right, Ansi. My father set these tasks to challenge me, but also to help me grow. I won't let him down." Together, they began to outline their plans. Ansi reached out to his friends and family, explaining the tasks and asking for their support. The villagers, once skeptical and distant, began to see Nia in a new light. She was no longer the cold, aloof daughter of a wealthy man. She was a woman with a mission, determined to make a positive impact on their community. The first task, building the school, required land, materials, and labor. Nia and Ansi worked tirelessly, enlisting the help of the villagers. Children watched with excitement as the foundations were laid and the walls began to rise. Ansi taught Nia how to lay bricks and mix mortar, and soon she was working alongside the others, her hands dirty, but her heart full. One evening, as they took a break from their work, Nia looked out over the construction site. "This is going to be amazing," she said, a smile spreading across her face. "The children will have a place to learn and grow." Ansi nodded. "And it'll be because of you, Nia. You are already making a difference." The days turned into weeks and the school began to take shape. Nia found herself bonding with the villagers, sharing in their struggles and joys. The cold exterior she had built up over the years started to melt away, revealing the compassionate and determined woman beneath. But as they worked towards completing the first task, whispers and rumors began to circulate once again. Some villagers doubted Nia's intentions, wondering if she was only doing this to secure her inheritance. "Do you think she really cares about the school?" one villager asked another. "Or is it just about the money?" came the skeptical reply. Nia overheard these conversations and felt a pang of hurt. But Ansi was always there to reassure her. "Ignore the doubters, Nia. Actions speak louder than words. When the school is finished, they'll see your true intentions." And so Nia pressed on, driven by a newfound purpose. As the school neared completion, she began to focus on the second task, establishing the community fund. She and Ansi held meetings with the village elders, discussing how the best to allocate the resources and ensure the fund would be sustainable. "We need to prioritize the most vulnerable," Nia said during one meeting. "The sick, the elderly, and the poor should receive our help first." The elders nodded in agreement, impressed by Nia's dedication and thoughtful approach. Slowly but surely, the fund began to take shape, providing much-needed support to those in need. One afternoon, as Nia was distributing food and medicine from the fund, an elderly woman approached her. "Thank you, Nia," the woman said, her voice filled with gratitude. "You've done so much for us. I never thought I'd see the day when someone cared this much about our well-being." Nia smiled, her eyes shining with emotion. "It's my honor to help, Mama Kato. We are all part of this community and we need to take care of each other." The villagers' perception of Nia continued to change. She was no longer the distant, unapproachable daughter of a wealthy man. She was becoming a beloved leader, someone who truly cared about their well-being. With the school nearly completed and the community fund established, it was time to focus on the third and final task: organizing the village-wide festival. Nia and Ensi wanted the festival to be a celebration of unity, a time for the villagers to come together and celebrate their shared heritage. They spent weeks planning the event, coordinating with local artisans, musicians, and dancers. The festival would feature traditional music, dance, food, and crafts, showcasing the rich cultural tapestry of Zamunda. As the festival day approached, the village buzzed with excitement. The streets were adorned with colorful decorations, and the air was filled with the tantalizing aroma of delicious food. Nia and Ensi stood together, looking out over the bustling scene. "We did it, Nia," Ensi said, pride evident in his voice. "We've completed the tasks your father set for you." Nia nodded, her heart swelling with gratitude and love. "I couldn't have done it without you, Ensi, and without the support of our village." The festival was a resounding success. The villagers came together in a spirit of joy and celebration, dancing, singing, and sharing in the festivities. Nia moved through the crowd, her heart filled with a sense of accomplishment and belonging. As the sun set and the festival continued into the night, Nia and Ensi stood together, watching the villagers celebrate. Nia felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She had grown so much over the past year, transforming from a cold and distant figure into a beloved leader of her community. But the evening was far from over and a surprise awaited them all. As the villagers gathered around the central bonfire, Kato stepped forward, raising his hand for silence. "People of Zamunda," he called out, "we have a special announcement to make." The crowd quieted down, their curiosity piqued. Kato turned to Nia and Ensi, beckoning them to join him at the front. "Nia," Kato began, his voice filled with warmth and respect. "You have completed the tasks set by your father, and you have done so with grace, compassion, and determination. But there's one more thing we must share with you." Nia looked at him, her heart pounding with anticipation. "What is it, Kato?" Kato smiled. "Your father left one final message for you, a message that he wanted you to hear after you had completed the tasks. He wanted you to know that he believed in you, that he saw the strength and potential within you, even if he did not always show it. He left a gift for you, a gift that represents his love and his faith in your future." With that, Kato gestured to a group of villagers who stepped forward carrying a beautifully crafted wooden chest. They placed the chest at Nia's feet, and Mizikato handed her a key. "Open it," Mizikato urged. Nia took the key with trembling hands and unlocked the chest. Inside, she found a collection of her mother's belongings: jewelry, traditional clothing, and a diary filled with her heartfelt letters. Tears filled Nia's eyes as she realized the significance of the gift. "These were your mother's," Mizikato explained. "Your father wanted you to have them, to remind you of the love and strength that flows through your veins. He wanted you to know that you are never alone, that you carry your family's legacy with you." Nia clutched the diary to her chest, her heart overflowing with emotion. "Thank you, Mizikato, and thank you, Father," she whispered, her voice choked with tears. The villagers watched with tearful eyes, moved by the poignant moment. Ensi wrapped his arms around Nia, offering her comfort and support. As the night wore on, the festival took an even deeper meaning. It was not just a celebration of unity, but also a celebration of love, family, and the strength of the human spirit. The villagers danced and sang with renewed vigor, their hearts filled with hope and joy. Nia and Ensi stood together, watching the bonfire's flame flicker against the night sky. They knew that the journey was far from over, but they also knew that they could face anything as long as they had each other and the support of their community. The journey of Nia teaches us that true leadership is not about wealth or power, but about compassion, determination, and the willingness to grow and change. It is about building bridges, breaking down walls, and inspiring others through actions and not just words. Nia's transformation from a cold and distant figure to a beloved leader reminds us that it's never too late to change and that the love and support of a community can help us achieve great things. In the next episode, Nia discovers the secrets and wisdom hidden within her mother's diary. As she delves into the letters and stories, she learns more about her mother's life, her struggles, and the deep love she had for her family. Stay tuned for the next episode of this story. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you won't miss out any of the upcoming stories. And let me know in the comments what you liked most about the story. I will be happy to hear from you and answer to your comments. See you in the next story. Bye bye.